public meeting to order, and we'll stand for the Pledge of Allegiance led by Commissioner Peterman.
To the flag, United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, everyone. This time we have roll call and determination of a quorum.
Mr. Peterman?
Present.
Mr. Servan? Mr. Servan?
Present.
Mrs. Karcher?
Here.
Mr. Galbraith?
Here.
Mr. Mills?
Here.
Mr. Davis?
Here.
And Mr. Jester is absent. So you have 6 present. You do have a quorum.
Thank you. Everyone having read the approval of the agenda, I need a motion for someone to approve and second.
So moved. Second.
Been moved and second. Roll call.
Mr. Peterman?
Yes, approved.
Mr. Servan?
Yes to approve.
Mrs. Karcher?
Yes to approve.
Mr. Galbraith?
Yes to approve.
Mr. Mills?
Yes to approve.
Mr. Davis?
Yes to approve.
So you have 6 yeas in favor of approving tonight's agenda.
Next order of business would be the approval of minutes on May 8th, 2025. They're self-explanatory. If you have any questions, I'd recommend you see the staff. They're posted in your package here. Okay, Levy Court did approve a couple applications.
Mr. Chair, just, you need to, if someone should make a motion to approve the May 8th minutes.
My mistake, sorry, I'm getting ahead of myself. Thank you so much. Motion to approve.
Motion to approve. Second.
Second.
Okay, motion been made, second, roll call.
Mr. Peterman?
Yes.
Mr. Servan?
Yes to approve.
Mrs. Karcher?
Yes to approve.
Mr. Galbraith?
Yes to approve.
Mr. Mills?
Yes to approve.
Mr. Davis?
Yes to approve.
So you have 6
Thank
yeas
you.
in favor of approving the minutes of May 8th.
Okay, next we have the previous hearings that's been sent to the Levy Court for action, and that's self-explanatory. It's in your package. We have no old business tonight. Now we're going to go into new business. I'd just like to make an early statement for those here tonight. Turn your telephones down so we will not be interrupted. And I want to point out that tonight's meeting is a business meeting. No public testimony will be allowed. Commissioners will vote on each of these applications this evening, for or against. The public is not allowed to speak. You had an opportunity last week after it had been posted in the news media, and we had a lot of people here last week. Having said that, first on the application tonight is SL 25-02, Creekside Reserve. Request a preliminary approval of major subdivision for 301 single-family lots located in the Growth Overlay District. NM-00-095.00-01-28.00-000. Okay, Commissioners, last week we had a lot of people come and testify for and against. So I hope everybody has read this very clearly. This is somewhat of a interesting application because there's a lot of concern about the growth. There's a lot of concern about the school districts and the school buses using these subdivisions, particularly this one. So at this time, if there's any questions from the commissioners about the application itself before we ask for a vote. Does anyone have any questions? Okay, at this time, there's no questions. Then a motion would be in order this time to take action on this application.
Mr. Temporary Chair, as you called yourself, I'd like
Sounds
to make a
good to
motion.
me.
I move that the Regional Planning Commission grant conditional approval of application SL-25-02, Creekside Reserve, a preliminary plan for a 301-lot, single-family residential subdivision located inside the Growth Zone Overlay District. And this is based on Exhibit A, the staff recommendation report that was dated June 5, 2025. Exhibit B, public hearing testimony dated June 5, 2025, and the findings of fact that A, the subject site is zoned AC agricultural conservation, in which single-family residential subdivision is a permitted use. B, the application complies with the Kent County Comprehensive Plan, future land use. The Office of State Planning Coordination, Department of Transportation, and Dover Kent Metropolitan Planning Organization have recommended an additional entrance onto Locust Grove Road in the interest of greater connectivity and better access for public safety vehicles. And D, DelDOT's crash data for the past 10 years when comparing trips per year versus crashes per year demonstrates that Locust Grove Road, 404 trips per crash per year, is slightly safer than Cypress Branch Road, 395 trips per crash per year. The applicant agreed to incorporate recommendations 6 through 16 into the final plan. Pursuant to Chapter 205 of the Kent County Code and pursuant to 9 Delaware Chapter subchapters 4802 and 4811, the Commission has reviewed the application, and furthermore, as part of this approval, the applicant shall comply with all staff and agency requirements and planning staff recommendations as described in the June 5, 2025 staff recommendation report, including, but not limited to, the following conditions. A, the plan shall be revised to include a DelDOT permitted entrance onto Locust Grove Road and a shared use path along the frontage for pedestrians and bicycles. B, a waiver from 187-53 I-4 is granted to permit the stormwater management pond to be located 25 feet from the rear setback and 15 feet from the adjacent parcel lines to enable relocation of the pond and reduction of tree clearing. Developer C, the developer shall provide a 25-foot landscape buffer along the common property line with the lots along West Drive and minimize stormwater runoff by installing a swale and stormwater system to divert rainwater. D, for the burial site identified along the eastern boundary of the site, the applicant shall secure an archaeological survey of the wooded outcropping area located behind the adjacent parcel known as 1312 West Drive, as shown on the plan. B, the results of the aforesaid archaeological study shall be provided to SHPO and the county upon completion and prior to recordation of any final subdivision plan. And C, the burial site area delineated by the aforesaid archaeological study shall not be disturbed by any construction or other earth-disturbing activity, but shall instead be preserved and protected as passive open space. E, as soon as the entrance to Cypress Branch Road is constructed and passable, the developer shall provide a letter to the transportation director of the district granting permission for school buses to enter the development. F, the final plan shall incorporate recommendations 6 through 16 of the staff recommendation report.
Okay, you've heard the motion. Are there any questions on the motion or amendments? Yeah, question. Mr. Mills.
I did a lot of work on this week on the transportation supervisors at the schools. I got from the state transportation supervisor of the school, I got not the regulations, but the rules. And in this case where the Horseshoe Drive is, as long as the developer, when it's finished with the first area of blacktop on there, and it's approved to ride on, that the school buses could enter that and pick up children when the first child is in the house has got approval to ride a school bus. However, the transportation supervisors of each school district has the right to override any decision that the state makes, and they have the final word of whether they can be picked up there safely or not. They will not allow any school bus to interact with any construction piece of equipment, meaning that the stub out to the road going to Locust Grove, which they agreed to put in, would have to be used for construction equipment only till the whole construction phases are finished. I don't know if we got that in there. Did we get that in there so that that's right?
No, because my motion says that that will be an actual road, a DelDOT approved road. Right, so that we can maintain the county's connectivity that is in their in the comp plan. And plus, I would also just mention that, let's not forget, I don't live in a neighborhood that has sidewalks, but these have sidewalks. So when we're talking about being the safety of the children, they better be on the sidewalk.
Again, you just said, what about the children?
Well, these subdivisions all have sidewalks now. There's a safety factor right there that's being maintained.
The inside the construction of the phases of the building would have sidewalks, but the stub would not, right?
I'll give that one to Sarah.
No, the sidewalks should be throughout.
Does your motion include sidewalks along the stub road
Yes.
that they want?
Yes, and sidewalks along that frontage as well.
Perhaps,
Yes.
Perhaps the problem is calling it a stub road, because the motion does not say stub road, it says road.
Yes.
I just have an issue that I think we need to think about. We don't have a time limit on this. It's got to be approved by DelDOT. There's 301 homes being built. And I've never been in the home building business, but I suspect you're talking about 5 years build-out time. So you're going to have an entrance put in at some time before the 75% of the homes before it's turned over to the homeowners association. So I guess my concern, it's up to the commission, but my concern is we don't say how long they have to do it. They might meet to 75%, and then they do it. That's just how I look at it. But if everybody would agree with that, I think that we need to make this thing a little bit more definitive, for the application. We don't specify, and more than likely, I would imagine they're going to wait until near the end, and you're going to have children there going to school, and you're going to have trucks going in and out there. So I just have some concerns about it. So that's my comments, just as one member, but I would like to we have a motion, but I would like to see a little discussion on it by the commissioners, because
If I could ask our attorney, the way it is worded presently, the motion, when both entrances, both roads, entrances are built?
Essentially, they're built when the roads are built. So whenever that's built, because DelDOT, just like when they come in to do, everybody knows they got to do the base layer. So they would probably do the base layer at the same time. They'd come back in and cover them up.
So if, like a lot of other subdivisions, they have one section that they open first and it's towards the other road, they don't have to build the second road until a certain number of the roads
That's
are
correct.
actually connecting to it.
That's correct.
Okay, thank you.
give me a real quick one on that one. I don't know if I got all that about the road. When's the road got to be started and things of that nature?
I've conferred with my co-counsel to my left, and And
Good.
it's really up, and we have the same answer. It's up to their phasing schedule, right? So if you're building it in and you build off of one road, you might do half the roads at a given time, and then you do the second half of the roads or in thirds or whatever.
Okay. Well, first of all, to really be honest about it, the school bus issue is not under our jurisdiction. That's under the school district. So they can either approve what's going on or they can deny it. If the road is not built to the standards with the 2 inches of type C and all that stuff, they could deny the bus going in there. And I don't know what's going to happen then. But anyhow, we do have a motion on the floor. Does anyone else want to say anything? Any discussion?
I got a question. Just talking about
You can go ahead.
on those sidewalks that Denise has brought up and son, will they build those sidewalks when they build a house? Or will the sidewalks going to be later where the kids won't have a sidewalk? When do they have to be?
Typically, they're built when they build a house, right? Yep.
Well, yeah, I don't.
Okay, Mr. Garber, you have a question?
I just want to make sure that I understand what we were saying in terms of timing and the additional road and what Commissioner Delbert was saying. So if I understand things correctly, if the school district says that children can't be picked up on an access road that has construction equipment moving in and out, and the only entrance for the construction equipment currently to go in and out is that one entrance, and that the second entrance that would alleviate these problems down the road won't be there initially because they are able to wait until the construction and that part of the project is underway before they put in that road, which means up until that point in time, those kids wouldn't be able to be picked up if the school district says that they can't share construction site equipment with school buses. Is that correct?
School buses cannot share an entrance with construction equipment.
How do they handle the beginning? How do they handle phase one or phase two? However, phases of a project where you have both school buses and construction equipment going in one entrance.
They will not have construction equipment and school buses going in the same entrance. The children will be picked up along the road.
So that's the solution, is that they get picked up outside.
They
Okay.
would have to be picked up.
Maybe the nice thing is the fact that that road or that entrance has a horseshoe. So they can be picked up on the one side and the construction can go in on the other side.
That's what we're saying.
Not the other road, the other side of the horseshoe. I mean, if that might be what the school district will say.
Now, they told me they could not use any part of it where the school bus would be traveling, which the school bus on the horseshoe would travel the whole circle there.
The other thing that comes to my mind is that we were told very clearly last week by the developer that that entrance is very important for the image. That is all going to be done initially. So there is that advantage, but I don't know. I feel like I'm trying to find a needle in a haystack right now, but I can't get back. That's all I had to say.
It is a needle in a haystack, because I will say this, the transportation supervisor, state transportation, told me, said this is one of the example of what they would like to see all developments done. This is, they got to thank the developer and the engineers that designed that horseshoe drive to pick up kids there. But the transportation supervisor from the school says they can't interact with construction equipment and school buses going on the same road in a development. Now, they can do it outside on the highway or something, but not inside of a development. So if they plan that stub road out to Locust Road and they direct all construction equipment out there, and they give them a letter that they can run those school buses on that circle drive from the developer, not from the HOA, because HOA doesn't take over until 80%.
The only problem with that is they're going to develop the front section first. So if you put a stub road in all the way on the other side of the development, I think the land in between is going to be quite a mess.
The developer about that.
Well, I think there's a compromise. if the developer would agree to it. If your motion stays, if the developer would agree to contact DelDOT and get a temporary entrance permit, a construction permit, temporary, that would then have the construction equipment going in on Locust Road and do what they got to do. As far as getting around the mud and stuff, that's up to them. But that would probably take care of our problem if the developer would be willing to get that temporary permit. And I know they're done all the time. And then when they get done, they can close it off or whatever they want to do. I don't know what you think about that.
Well, the way my motion is made, they cannot do what they want to do. They have to put in an actual DelDOT road there. It's not a stub. It's not a temporary road. But if they have to do that immediately, that's going to cause problems for the developer. And I don't even know. I don't know. I've seen subdivisions being expanded and all, and the land between where the first section is to the back is usually a mess. So, but that's just me.
Well, I think we're in the problem we got. We're in the middle of a motion. It'd be interesting to know. Well, I guess we can't do that. We cannot ask the developer who's here today or the engineer. We can't do that, can we?
No, this is public hearing is closed, and you guys got to vote.
All right.
So, just as point of point of order, we have a motion, but we don't have a second.
Well, I'm getting ready. I think I'm going to second that motion.
Okay, we got it's been moved and second to approve the what was led by Commissioner Denise, and we're going to have a roll call. Yes.
Mr. Peterman?
Yes to approve.
Mr. Servon?
Yes to approve.
Mrs. Karcher?
Yes to approve.
Mr. Galbraith?
Abstain.
Mr. Mills?
Yes to approve.
Mr. Davis?
Yes to approve.
So you have 5 yeas, 1 abstention in favor of granting conditional approval of application SL 2502.
Okay. So that ends that one. That's been taken care of. So any other issues, the developer can talk to staff. Okay. Next on the hearing tonight is S-25-05 P&I Properties. They requested for site plan approval of an 1,800 square foot professional office located inside the growth zone overlay district, SM-00-129.01-01-72.0000. Let me get my other stuff here. Sorry about. Okay. The application is as follows. Application title is S-25-05 P&I Properties. The applicant owner is P&I Properties LLC, 258 Derbywood Circle, Dover, Delaware 19904. The engineer is Kevin Minnick Engineering Incorporated, 868 Greenwood Road, Greenwood, Delaware 19950. Comp plan map designation is highway commercial. Zoning, BG, general business. Relation to the growth zone is inside. Present use is vacant apartments. Proposed use is professional offices. Size of the existing building is 1,800 square feet. Water, private on-site well. Wastewater is private on-site septic. Levy Court District is 6. Commissioner Hertz. School District is Lake Forest. Fire District is Fountain. Area and location is 0.498 acre, located on the west side of South DuPont Highway, 0.36 miles south of Plymouth Road, in the southeast corner of Viola. Property identification is 8-00-129.01-01-72.00-000. Is there someone here to represent the application? Mr. Bennett, you need to be sworn in, as you know.
How are you?
Sir,
Good
can
evening,
you,
Mr. Chairman,
can I swear
fellow
you in?
commissioners.
Can I swear you in? Just real
Yes,
quick,
sure.
do you swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to give is the truth?
Yes, I do. I'm here in representing David and Doreen Polanco.
You gotta
in
speak
this-
up a little bit.
I'm
Us old
sorry.
people.
Can you hear?
That's
Is that better? I'm here representing David and Doreen in this site plan application. They recently developed the parcel that's to the north of this site, and so they purchased the property to the south. There was an apartment building there, and they wanted to make some improvements to that site and change the use on that site and put in some commercial, some office buildings. It'll be using the existing building, 1,800 square feet, and they're looking at parceling that building up into 3 separate units for office use. We did meet with DelDOT. Well, we met with DelDOT. We discussed this with DelDOT over the phone and had our preliminary meeting with them and came to the agreement that we should just tie in the 2 sites rather than put a second entrance in right next to the existing entrance. We would tie the sites together, come through the existing parking lot and have an entrance through their existing parking lot. So I mean, it's a pretty cut and dry application. The stormwater the intent on the stormwater is to do stormwater across the site into their existing basin that they have on the north property. So it's a small little thing, but it's necessary. So,
Mr. Bennett, do you have you read the recommendations by the planning department, and do you agree with them?
do I have any?
No, do you? They have
Yeah,
some-
I'm in agreement with all the staff recommendation report, yes.
Oh, okay, that sounds
Yes.
good. Okay.
Yeah.
Any commissioners have any questions? No questions? Then thank you for your testimony. Is that it?
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. And I guess now we vote on it. Is that the procedure? Okay, so I need a motion to approve or to deny.
I'll make a motion.
Okay. Motion to approve, is that the question?
Yes.
Is there a second to the motion?
Before you second, there's a suggested motion that has some conditions in it,
Right.
so might want to read that out.
Yes.
Okay, good. Thank you. So second to the motion? Denise?
Second.
Thank you. Okay, roll
Hold on.
call, please.
Hold on, before you call the vote.
I have to read the motion first.
That's right. You got to read the motion.
I'm sorry.
Wait, thank
I'm
you.
really messing up mine. I won't get paid this week, okay? Sorry
All
about
right,
that.
I'll go ahead and read the motion, and then we can second it. I move that the Regional Planning Commission grant conditional approval of the application S25-05, the site plan for an 1,800 square foot professional office located inside the Growth Zone Overlay District. This is based on Exhibit A, staff recommendation report dated June 12, 2025, and findings of fact that A, the site is zoned BG, general business, in which professional office is permitted uses per section 205-53, and B, the plan is compliant with the comprehensive plan pursuant to chapters 187 and 205 of the Kent County Code and pursuant to 9 Delaware C subchapter 4802 and 4811. The commission has reviewed the application and the June 12, 2025 staff recommendation report, and furthermore, as part of this approval, the applicant shall maintain compliance with all requirements and recommendations of the staff recommendation report, including but not limited to A, the final plan shall include a future interconnectivity easement for connection to the BG zone parcel 73.00 south of the subject parcel. B, the final plan must be approved within 24 months of the preliminary plan approval, and the construction must commence within 18 months of final plan approval.
Second.
Been moved in second by Commissioner Kirschner. Roll call, please.
Mr. Peterman?
Yes to approve.
Mr. Servon?
Yes to approve.
Mrs. Karcher?
Yes to approve. I like to see things that are being repurposed. I'm all about that.
Mr. Galvry?
Yes to approve.
Mr. Mills?
Yes to approve.
Mr. Davis?
Yes to approve.
So you have 6 yeas in favor of granting conditional approval of application S2505.
Congratulations on your approval. Good luck to you. Always good to see you. I have a little hearing problem on my left ear, so I apologize. I couldn't hear Mr. Garvey, so I'm really messed up today, but I'm sorry about that. It was an ear problem. Okay, we're going to move on to any public comment. I think we run them out of here. Nobody here. Okay, commissioner comments. Any commissioners? The only thing I want to say, we hear Mr. Mills talk a lot about these bus issues. And I have a lot of respect for his opinion because he's been doing it for so long. What I see happening is that the school districts, not naming any particular one, is not doing their job.
Okay, I'll get to that.
And what happens is that we're then faced with an issue that we got to make a big decision when it comes to public safety of children. That's part of our responsibility. And it really puts us right in the middle. DELDOT issues, I wish they'd be a little bit more active on things. But we have to sit up here and juggle this around, try to be fair, both sides. Those are for it, those are against it. But some of these agencies don't make it easy for us, and they're very difficult. This issue tonight was a very difficult issue to study, and got it over with. But I don't know how we're going to do this, Sarah, and I don't know whose responsibility it is, but we got to work with the schools, and they got to work with us. It's just that simple. We're talking about children's lives, and I take that very seriously. I just want to kind of put that out, something for us to think about. If there's a better way we can communicate with the schools and get their input, I guess it's going to have to be somebody from the executive department or something, the school district, or public education or something. But we got to get this corrected. This is nonsense. You sit here, most of us been on this commission a long time. And we know the soap people they don't want it. I don't care what they put out there. They don't want it. I get it. And some people like to watch the deer. I get it. But when it comes to public safety, I don't get it. I don't get it because it puts us in the box. And we really need to see if we can work on that. And I think, Sarah, maybe we ought to have a discussion. And I open the floor for any comments in regards to that or anything else. Denise?
Well, I even wonder, is this our responsibility at all? I do think it's the school districts. And I think that if the I don't know if they have the power, but why can't they work with the construction company to say school pickup at one location and school dropout at one location, and you've got maybe 3 different times or 2 different times for the elementary/middle and then for the high school. We're talking about a short period of time. I don't know why they couldn't make the construction company works with that timing and keep us out of it.
Let me weigh in on that.
So,
just a little.
I'm sorry, I'm gonna weigh in. So I know this is a topic, it's a hot topic because I've sat through here, but from a Freedom of Information Act perspective, to have that discussion, you should probably put it on a future agenda and have it. In other words, you guys are making comments, but now we're getting into, so in other words, it's one thing to make comments, that's something I'm worried about, Mr. Chair, right? And then you second, but it's another thing to have a full-fledged discussion about what we should do, so that really should go on a future agenda. I don't mean to cut you off, but that's what the Freedom of Information Act requires.
I respect that.
Well, can I weigh in on the side of the education, of the transportation education part of it?
I'll let you have the last word, Commissioner.
The school districts, transportation, are not gonna make any decisions or come here and testify, because they told me that, hey, that's the county's problem, not theirs, and they're gonna, if it's whatever the county approves for a builder to build, it's up to them to decide whether they're gonna pick those kids up at that, wherever. And that's as far as they're gonna go with it. Now, the only thing I would say, you know, the county's got set up some rules and regulations, just like DENREC does and soil conservation does, and say this is what's got to be done. Now, I did, like I said, the transportation supervisor told me, the state transportation, that this is an ideal situation, the way they would like to see all developments done with that horseshoe.
Yeah, Denise?
I don't know if this is appropriate, Sarah, but this is obviously multiple districts. What would be the appropriate way for the Department of Education to have a discussion? And should it be with us or with?
I don't mean to do this. We are way beyond what we're allowed to do on public comment. So in other words, we can put it on a future agenda, and I don't mean, I'm just trying to keep you out of trouble, that's all. And so,
I wasn't the only one who got spanked. That's good.
I'm not just trying to keep you
Okay.
out of
We're
trouble.
going to cut it off then. Okay, thank you so much, Counselor.
Move to adjourn.
Okay, second?
Second.
All right, it's been moved and second. Roll call, please, to adjourn.
Mr. Peterman?
Yes, to adjourn.
Mr. Servon?
Yes to adjourn.
Mrs. Karcher?
To adjourn, yes.
Mr. Galvery?
Yes, to adjourn.
Mr. Mills?
To adjourn.
Mr. Davis?
Yes, to adjourn. Thank you for your patience for midnight.